In the midst of Florida's recent devastating floodwaters, as families fled submerged homes and roads became rivers, a story unfolded that has left everyone in awe. Imagine this: a fisherman near Tampa Bay casting his net into murky waters, expecting the usual catch. But what he reeled in was no ordinary fish. It was massive, its stomach bloated in a way that hinted at something extraordinary within. Carefully, he cut it open, only to pause, stunned by what lay inside. A sight so miraculous that everyone around him cried out in disbelief. What lay hidden in that fish? And how, amid such chaos, could it hold a mystery that would change lives? Join us as we share a story that has touched hearts across Florida, revealing resilience, faith, and the miracles that Allah grants in times of hardship. We begin this story by seeking refuge in Allah, the Almighty, from the accursed devil, and in His blessed name, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Dear friends, as you may already know, Florida has been struck by one of the worst floods in its recent history. Heavy rains and powerful hurricanes combined, sending massive waves across communities, turning peaceful neighborhoods in Tampa, Fort Myers, and Orlando into disaster zones. As the days passed, homes, schools, and entire communities became lost under the floodwaters. The authorities, though dedicated, struggled to reach everyone affected. Roads were blocked, bridges damaged, and communication cut off in several areas. Yet amid this unfolding tragedy, we have witnessed stories that uplift the soul and remind us of Allah's mercy. When the water first began to rise, it moved fast. People barely had time to gather a few belongings before they were forced to flee, watching helplessly as floodwaters swallowed their homes. In some areas, water levels reached heights of 7 feet, trapping families and cutting off escape routes. Streets turned to rivers, and the waters seemed unending, relentless. But the flood brought more than just rushing currents and destruction. It carried with it hidden dangers, unexpected blessings, and a miracle that even the most seasoned officials could not explain. One incident in particular has left everyone speechless. It was during the height of the flooding when a fisherman from Tampa Bay, trying to salvage what he could from the waters, noticed something unusual. He had caught a massive fish, one far bigger than he had ever seen, and the fish's belly was distended in an unnatural way. Curious and sensing something odd, he decided to investigate. Upon cutting open the fish, the fisherman made a shocking discovery. Inside the fish lay a small child, alive. Yes, you heard that correctly. In the very belly of this giant fish, a young child lay, alive and untouched by the chaos around him. The fisherman, deeply moved and realizing the significance of what he had uncovered, acted quickly. He found the child's heartbeat, faint but there, a miracle in its own right. He gently removed the child and with trembling hands drained water from his lungs, performing whatever first aid he could. He then rushed the child to the nearest hospital, praying all the while for Allah's mercy and protection. And by the will of Allah, the child lived. When doctors examined him, they were stunned. The child, swept away days ago by the very same floodwaters, had somehow survived within the fish's belly, protected by Allah's mercy. This incident immediately brought to mind the story of Prophet Yunus, Jonah, peace be upon him, who was also kept safe within a fish by Allah's command. It was as if history had repeated itself, a reminder of Allah's power and mercy, showing that nothing is impossible for the Almighty. Those who heard the story could not help but cry out, Allahu Akbar. And tears flowed as people witnessed the sheer power of Allah, who saves whom He wills, even amid the mightiest storm. But friends, we must remember that this flood has also brought deep sorrow. While this child's survival is a story of hope, many families are still suffering, and lives have been lost. The disaster has caused immense damage throughout Florida. In Hillsborough County, over 130 residents of an assisted living facility had to be rescued as water levels rose rapidly, reaching up to 5 feet. Roads, bridges, and other essential infrastructure have been damaged, making it difficult for emergency teams to reach those who need them most. For some, the flood has taken everything, leaving them with just the clothes on their backs and memories of what they once had. The scenes across Florida are heart-wrenching. Neighborhoods that once echoed with children's laughter are now quiet, submerged, and empty. Families who had built their lives, brick by brick, now find their homes swept away, with belongings, memories, and cherished items floating adrift. As days turn to weeks, the loss settles in deeper, and people wonder how long it will take to rebuild their lives. Yet amid this hardship, Florida's spirit remains resilient. Allah tests those whom He loves, and through these tests we come to know the strength within us, the compassion we hold for one another, and the faith that binds us. In response, Florida's government has launched Operation Blue Ridge to help communities rebuild. Relief efforts include emergency shelters, supplies, and medical care, and volunteers from around the nation have come forward, answering the call to help and standing side by side with those who have lost so much. This fisherman's story has become a beacon of hope. People across Florida and around the world are reminded that even in times of destruction, Allah's mercy prevails. This child's survival is a testament to Allah's protection, showing us that He alone has the power to save, even in the fiercest of storms. The child's family, who had feared the worst, was overjoyed to see him alive, a blessing they never expected. Their tears of joy and gratitude echoed throughout the hospital, a moment that will live in their hearts forever. Let's reflect on this story, dear friends, and remember those who are still in need. While the fisherman's tale has inspired many, thousands of others are struggling. The Florida Division of Emergency Management is tirelessly working to provide relief, but the need is great and the journey to recovery is long. It is our duty to support and pray for them. As the Prophet Muhammad taught us, the believers are like one body. If one part feels pain, the whole body suffers. As we continue with our relief efforts, let us turn to Allah for strength, for resilience, and for the courage to rebuild. The people of Florida are not alone. We stand with them, praying that Allah eases their suffering and grants them patience. The cost of recovery is high. Estimates suggest billions of dollars in damages, with hundreds of thousands of homes impacted and countless lives uprooted. Yet with faith in Allah and by coming together, we can overcome even the greatest of trials. This story of survival and faith is one we will carry with us, a reminder of Allah's boundless mercy. As we share it with you today on Heartbeats for Allah, we hope it serves as an inspiration to hold fast to our faith, especially in challenging times. Remember, Allah's help is always near, and He alone has the power to bring us through our darkest days. If this story has touched your heart, please consider sharing it. Your support, even through a simple gesture, spreads hope and reminds us all of Allah's compassion. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Heartbeats for Allah, and click the bell icon for updates on stories of faith, resilience, and miracles that bring us closer to the Almighty. Thank you for being with us today, friends. May Allah protect you and your loved ones, grant ease to those in hardship, and guide us all to be a source of comfort for one another. Until our next story, may peace and blessings be upon you.